Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kann du Norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
I like it because only a certain amount can be tolerated. President Trump threatens to yank the license of ABC TV over a reporter who was too aggressive in how she asked an Oval Office question with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia sitting right there. We'll have more on that. Mamdani is asking the public for more donations, the mayor-elect. But first this morning, the atrocities of October 7th. When I thought that I had heard the worst, that it couldn't get any worse, tonight happens. And what I'm talking about is what happened October 7th to the people of Israel, solely to the people of Israel. I will have a lot more on this during the 3 p.m. show later on today. But sure enough, I attended tonight a screening of HBO's Max 7-part series titled One Day in October. One woman I'm talking about right now, one family I'm discussing right now, total devastation. What happened to Sabine Tessa, her son and husband? So I'm in a side area waiting, and up walks this very pleasant woman. No security, but 2 or 3 people are walking with her. You can tell that she's the subject of attention. Until tonight, our paths have never crossed. But what happened to her and her family has gone global. She lived near the Israeli-Palestinian border. And tonight's program, the screening, was all about her. She is one of the 7 subjects, and it was very hard to watch. Hamas animals shot her oldest son, 17-year-old son, 6 times in the head, killing him. Her husband, who tried his best to protect his family and children, dove on a grenade thrown into their home and died right there on the spot, trying to protect his family. Another son, the youngest, was beaten so badly he has been left blind in one eye. Sabine Tassa ran into a reinforced safe room in her home. I didn't even know. I looked online, and they're apparently these safe rooms mandatory in Israel in homes. So she runs into a safe room with her children, and she's forced, like any mama bear would do, to come out, to get the rest of her children, to come out of the safe room when she heard her kids outside the room. Now imagine what would have happened to her, if these animals of Hamas had found her. Like many of the women that day, she probably would have been viciously attacked, raped repeatedly, and murdered. Here is what she is telling me. Listen closely. warning, and this is just a clip. The full interview will air at 3 p.m. today, warning that the same thing that happened October 7th in Israel can happen here in the United States.
Those animals show at live how they killed a little boy, only 17 years old, and take his life for nothing. They shoot 6 bullets straight in his head. And you must understand that this tragedy that happened in Israel maybe could happen here in USA and in Europe. You must wake up and to open your eyes.
I've done a lot of interviews with mothers of victims. This is very tough for me to sit here with you, and you're so pleasant and you're brave. I just don't know how you're able to go forward with life.
I don't have choice. I choose the life. Because, okay, if I will tomorrow decide to stay in bed and to ask God or everyone why it's happened to me, they will come back? No. But if I decide to get out of the bed and promote the one day of the October, the real story of my husband and my son and other victims, and maybe try or will convince some of you to believe our story and our tragedy and what's happened here in Israel, and maybe to show the world that this hate could maybe happen here in USA. And I cannot allow it. I have a job. And my job is to open the eyes and telling the truth. Telling the truth of the Israeli people and telling the truth of the October 7. Because I believe that if not us, the survivor or the hostage that's, thank God, now out, it maybe will happen in the world.
A remarkable woman. Oh, folks, it was so tough to watch this documentary. It's 7-part series on what one day in October, what happened October 7th to the great people of Israel by these animals of Hamas. And so she, the woman you just heard, she's a formidable advocate for the victims of the attacks, including the hostages that were abducted that day. She shared her devastating story on the global stage for the past 2 years, speaking at the United Nations and the European Parliament and beyond. And so we'll talk to her at 3 o'clock today, plus Daniel Finkelman, who is the creator, director, and producer of One Day in October. So just imagine you were kind and nice to the Palestinian people living just less than a mile away from them, a few miles, and you were being set up the entire time. Your son is shot, 17 years old, your oldest son, shot and killed, shot 6 times in the head, grenade thrown into your house as the attack started to get you to come out. And we know what would have happened to her as a woman. And the father dives on the grenade to protect his family. And you see the IDF soldiers get there in time to protect the family. Her children are viciously beaten and so on. And they're leaving heavily armed. The IDF officers are leaving with her and her kids. And she happens to see her husband's body in the lobby area, the foyer area of her home. And she's not able to leave him. She's on the floor crying. And you see the IDF soldiers realizing that they can be ambushed at any second. They literally pick her up in their arms, one soldier, and carries her off, leaving her dead husband right there on the floor. It was horrendous to watch this. Dominic Carter here with you. A lot else to get to right now. President Trump threatening to yank the license of ABC TV over a reporter. And folks, we'll talk about the game because I'm the master of this, of what some reporters do. But the president felt that she was too aggressive in how she asked an Oval Office question in front of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who happened to be sitting right there. And I want you to listen in full context of what the president had to say.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. You're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me. But he gave money to Democrats. And people are wise to your hoax. And ABC's, your company, your crappy company, is one of the perpetrators. And I'll tell you something.
So why not just sign it now?
I think the license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake and it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that, because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump, and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible, and you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go and look at the Democrats who received money from Epstein, who spent their time. Larry Summers was with him all the time. That creep, the fund guy, was with him all the time. What's his name?
Reid Hoffman.
Who? Reid Hoffman. I don't know Reid Hoffman, but I know he spends a lot of money on the radical left. Reid Hoffman, in my opinion, should be under investigation. He's a sleazebag. And those are the people, but they don't get any press, they don't get any news, and you're not after the radical left because you're a radical left network. But I think the way you ask a question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You ought to go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions from you.
The president telling her what time it is. I don't see anything wrong with that. Folks, believe me, I've been known over a 40-year career. I'm not going to say I invented this, what many reporters are now trying, but I'm at the forefront of being the person that would ask a lot of tough questions. And it's true. You get written about in books, which I have been written about, my aggressive style and so on, but it goes too far. This is the president of the United States. And what this is all about, and I'm late for a break, what this is all about, it's called Let Me Make a Name for Myself. I make a name for myself. I can go on The View. I can do this. I can become a millionaire. It's not about justice for the American people. It's about, Mom, look at me. I'm a star. Look at the girl, Caitlin Collins, the woman, Caitlin Collins on CNN. She went from nothing to the top of the network. Now they say she has $20 million in real estate in New England. Where did this come from? Because she's known to be very, very aggressive. So I've got to take a break. We'll continue on this. We'll continue on October 7th. The screening was so meaningful and impactful, but it was horrible on an emotional standpoint to stand there and watch this. Time for a break. I am coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This shrimp and coconut sauce is divine. What's your secret?
Goya coconut milk.
How does it taste so good?
It's all in that real coconut flavor and that rich, creamy texture.
What about thickeners and added sugars?
None. Just smooth, coconutty goodness.
What can I make with it?
From curries to sweet treats like coconut flan, the possibilities are endless.
Goya coconut milk. Take your cooking to the next level. No question about it. Find it in the Goya section of your local grocery store. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
This is a real good story about Bronx and his dad, Ryan, real United Airlines customers.
We were returning home, and one of the flight attendants asked Bronx if he wanted to see the flight deck and meet Captain Andrew.
I got to sit in the driver's seat.
I grew up in an aviation family, and seeing Bronx kind of reminded me of myself when I was that age.
That's Andrew, a real United pilot.
These small interactions can shape a kid's future.
It felt like I was the captain.
Allowing my son to see the flight deck will stick with us forever.
That's how good leads the way.
This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
Optimism isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's fixing things, changing the way we fix things. It's running the world on smarter energy. Because if optimism never stops, then change can't either. GE Vernova, the energy of change.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And it's time to start with your telephone calls. But before we do so, Mom Donnie, the mayor-elect, has put out a social media video. And for some reason, Mom Donnie says he needs more money, more donations.
It's been 2 weeks since we won the election. We've been pretty busy.
Projects the Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani.
Too often, this is a time of just celebration as opposed to preparation. We want to make it both. A lot of these things are new, but one of them is pretty old. Fundraising. But why are we fundraising? Well, we have less than 50 days until we take office, and we have a lot to do. We have to vet the 50,000 resumes we've received. Thank you. We have to keep paying our incredible team. Thank you. And we have to plan not just our inauguration, but our policy implementation.
Oh, isn't that cute? Not Mamdani. I almost said Mayor Mamdani. Mayor-elect Mamdani. Let's start with your telephone calls. Let's begin with William, line 2, Central New Jersey. Good morning, William. What's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. Thanks for taking my
William,
call.
What's wrong with your phone? Yeah, something, it sounded awful in the beginning.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. How's that? Better?
Did you have it on hold or something? It was awful.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. Please do not do that.
Go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
disgusted with these, these radical Muslims trying to steamroll our country with their radical beliefs, Sharia law, non-conforming. We are asleep at the switch, and I'm in debt to you, Dominic Carter, for keeping this crisis, up front. It's obvious that these New Yorkers that elected him are and what happened to our trade center. They just forgot. Did anybody look like, hey, there's an elephant in the room? You forgot they destroyed the trade centers, you imbeciles.
I hear you, William. I gotta move on to some other calls. Thank you very much. Let's go to Norman, line 3 in Brooklyn. Norman, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Dom. Listen, first I want to see you got through it. I wanted to applaud you for that. You're a better man than me. Because I have a hard time. I mean, I own a movie I got recently, Dinesh D'Souza's The Dragon's Prophecy. It's also about Israel, and it's about the same events that occurred in October 6th, or it was October 7th. I just as horrible as the story you related, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, the most horrible story I've heard, and I have friends who've seen it, is they took a woman who was around 8-9 months pregnant, and they slit her stomach open. They took her fetus out, and she was going unconscious. Obviously, she was dying, and took the baby out of the sack, cut the baby's throat in front of the mother, and slapped the mother in the face.
Right. It's awful, Norman. There are horrendous stories they're going to be telling tomorrow. We just didn't air it tonight. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has movies. So many movies. The movies you've seen 1,000 times and could watch 1,000 more. Iconic movies your friends can't believe you haven't seen. New movies, classic movies, new takes on classic movies. So whether you're into Top Gun or The Naked Gun, Mean Girls or Mission Impossible, Smurfs or Sonic the Hedgehog, there's a mountain of movies to discover on Paramount Plus. Start streaming today.
I turned off news altogether.
I hate to say it, but I don't trust much of anything.
It's the rage bait.
It feels like it's trying to divide people.
If we got clear facts, maybe we could calm down a little.
NBC News brings you clear reporting. Let's meet at the facts. Let's move forward from there. NBC News, reporting for America.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. A lot to get to. And as I mentioned a moment ago, and we're about to go back to your telephone calls, Mamdani is asking for more public donations for money. I don't exactly know what for, but he says it's for his agenda. Here's a bit of what he has to say.
Now, unlike the campaign, transitions do not get public matching funds from the city. So that 8-to-1 match, gone. It's up to us to raise the money. Usually campaigns take that as an opportunity to rely on wealthy donors, but that's not us. You've already been incredible. We've raised more than $1 million in just 2 weeks. Our average donation is around $77, and more than 12,000 of you have donated so far, which is much lower than the last administration's transition. But we're still asking for your help because we need to raise $4 million in total, so January 1st can be the day we start to deliver, not start to prepare. I hope very soon not to have to ask you for money, but until then, I'm asking.
I don't know, folks. Other mayors have asked for money. It just seems something slimy, the way that he's going about this. Maybe it's just me. I'll admit, maybe it's just me that I'm not seeing it, but it's like every time we look, you got your hand out asking for money. For what, Mr. Mayor-elect? Dominic Carter of New York City. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. Line 2, Igor, I believe, from New Jersey. What's on your mind?
Yeah, greetings, Dominic. Dominic, I wanted to ask you a more detailed question about the reporter today. You made a living asking very difficult questions of people in power, regardless of the party. And while is it your concern that it wasn't the right venue for her to ask that question, or do you genuinely believe that the press should not ask those kind of questions of people in power?
No, of course the press should ask questions like that, but you don't do something like that in front of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. I'm going to put it in a term the way that the kids would do on the street. Game can see game. I didn't invent this, but I'm one of the best at difficult, in-your-face pit bull questions. And this is going to sound arrogant. You have a lot of these reporters out here that are trying to mimic me from what I did back in the 80s. There's a way. So when I did it to Giuliani, just so that you know, I'm trying, and I'm going to let you have your say. When I did it to Giuliani or anybody else that was in my path, I would often let their chiefs of staff know. I wouldn't let them know the direct question. They would always try and find out my direct question every day so that the mayor would be prepared for it and look like he's answering it off the top of his head. But what I would do as a courtesy is say, listen, this is the real truth. I would say, listen, tell Mayor Giuliani he better be on his game today because I'm coming. Dominic, what do you, and I would normally call Peter Powers, who was his first deputy mayor, or Christine Latagano, and every now and then we would bump heads. So the press has a responsibility to ask tough questions. But there's, when I say game, seeing game, these reporters are trying to be stars. They're not trying to do this in the best interest of the public. They're trying to be the anti-Trump reporter so they can get a book deal and everything else that comes with that. I'll let you have the last word. Go right ahead.
No, sure. And with your experience, I'll have to nod to that you get a sense for whether or not they're up to their public good or to their own good. But, Dominic, do you believe that the president should threaten to remove the license of a broadcasting agency, maybe because he doesn't like the question?
I think in this case, it's appropriate for him to suggest it. I understand the power of the president of the United States. He's not the final say on whether the license is yanked. His appointee over at the FCC will take a look at this, who has already said that he doesn't like some of the things that are going on with the networks. I mean, let's remember that these are public licenses. ABC nor any other network has a right to just do whatever they want to do. The View TV show crosses the line each and every day. Barbara Walters has to be spinning in her grave at the product. They put up these 4 out of the 5 women are anti-Trump, and it's just not. So, I mean, what do you think should happen before I move on, before I go to Sandra in New Jersey? What do you think should happen?
You know, I think that clearly, I think that her questions were probably out of line and probably not in the right place. But I also don't think the president should threaten to remove their license in this public venue. So,
well,
Dominic,
I hear you.
I value you. And,
I hear you, and thank you, and thank you for that. Let me just say this to you. So, I give President Trump credit for stating publicly what he wants to see done. If you think he's the first president that's come up with that suggestion, because here's what happens. The moment, it's all a game. It's a dog and pony show. And once the Q&A is over, the president sits there and smiles. You don't think every president is fuming the moment they walk off the stage? Of course they are. You don't think every president is making very strong suggestions to their communications directors of what they want to see done? Of course they are. It's just with Trump will tell you right there in your face. And I respect that. I do. So I know a thing or two about this because with Giuliani and after Giuliani as the mayor of New York, we came to become very, very good friends to this very day. But every single day it was war, and I mean war. No matter what venue, and Giuliani would say the same things. He would say to me, Dominic, you're embarrassing yourself in front of crowds. You're embarrassing trying to get the public on his side. But I wouldn't back up. But again, in my case, it wasn't like I just ambushed the mayor. And there's a rule to this. You ask your question, maybe one follow-up, and then you move on. If they're not going to answer it, they're not going to answer it. And there are some reporters that just boil your blood. Right? No matter what. no matter what. So with Giuliani and myself, it was two alpha males going at it. Basically the same person, but on different sides. Giuliani with the power as the mayor, me with the power as a member of the Fourth Estate. And so, and it wasn't just Giuliani, it was any mayor. And that's why I think that, you know, we have all types of journalists now, internet journalists, bloggers and so on, blah, 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 blah. They've got to be tougher in holding officials accountable. So what are you talking about, Dominic? So Eric Adams, the current mayor, points to race, and every reporter at City Hall gets scared because they don't want to be called a racist, not realizing that it's a game. The politician's going to use anything and everything to get you off of their back, anything and everything. And so if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't want to do it now. And again, to Giuliani's credit, and to show you the type of man that he is, the tremendous character. We have an African-American mayor right now, and the female African-American mayor, I'm talking about Chicago, that basically, first the female mayor basically said she didn't want to take questions from white reporters. Then you have the mayor that we have now that basically said the same thing, that he didn't want to take questions from white reporters. We have the Asian American mayor of Boston that did not want white reporters at her Christmas party, right? It's a story I still remember now. Can you imagine if Giuliani, as the mayor of New York City, said, I don't want Dominic Carter asking me questions because he's black. And trust me, every day I tried to rip his lungs out just like he tried to rip mine out. But it wasn't personal. That's the difference. It wasn't personal. I wasn't seeking a book deal. I wasn't looking to be a star. I was just trying to do my job. You have these kids playing TV now. I'm going to show I'm tough. I'm going to be the next Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta, this is why I can't be in politics. Because if I had to answer a question from Jim Acosta, my press secretary would yell and jump across the room to stop me, because I would say, Jim, you can kiss my fat, black, you know what, backside. And I would literally say it. Some mayors say it, and some governors say it, and some presidents say it. There are some reporters that they just boil your blood the way they smile at you, because you know that it's not sincere. You know going in. And this reporter from ABC, I don't know if she's trying to be the next Sam Donaldson. I don't know what she's trying to do, trying to be Nightline. She's trying to make a name for herself. And even with Giuliani, and then I'm moving on here. Even with Giuliani, right? He played for keeps. He tried to have me permanently removed from City Hall. He called Time Warner and wanted them to transfer me effective immediately. But thankfully for me, Jerry Levin, who was the CEO of Time Warner, called me up. I was scared to death. Now, just imagine, this was Time Warner, the big conglomerate Time Warner. And Dominic, CEO Levin is on the phone for you. What? So I pick up the phone, Mr. Levin, how can I help you? And his exact words were, Dominic, our mayor is behaving like an infant right now. You need to know that the full resources of Time Warner are behind you, and our 500 lawyers at our disposal at any moment. They are behind you should it be necessary. And so Time Warner gave me the green light to continue doing what I was doing. But to Giuliani's credit, we he did town halls with me. So we would feud, and then he would invite me down. The mayor has like an apartment in the bottom of City Hall. It has a shower. He can take a nap down there. He can smoke a cigar. He can do whatever. And Giuliani would call me up, and I can't say certain things. He would source certain stories to me where I couldn't say the mayor gave it to me, but sources close to the mayor. And I guess I'm giving out a little too much information right now because it came directly from Giuliani himself, but I couldn't say it. So it was a two-way street where I guess it depended on our moods. One day we try and kill each other. the next day we would work with each other. But this lady at ABC, Trump can't work with her. She's just faking the funk, as the kids would say, trying to be a star. Sandra, New Jersey, line 4. What's on your mind, Sandra?
It sounds like you had a love-hate relationship with Giuliani. Probably more love in the end than anything.
Well, now that we're both old men, but I just want to say this, Sandra, because campaigns, people don't understand the impact that they. So, like for example, the most recent mayor campaign in New York City, that was no fun for me. It was no fun at all. Mm-hmm. Absolutely no fun. My blood pressure goes high. My diabetes get out of control. And that's what happened when I had to cover Dinkins, Giuliani. I ended up being hospitalized. And then that's when Giuliani started changing, because he called the hospital. And Sandra, this is a true story, right? So,
I believe, yeah.
So just imagine I'm in the hospital, right? This was Beth Israel North, which no longer exists. And there's a call from the mayor of New York City to the nurses station. And they're like, excuse me? And he says, this is Mayor Giuliani. I want to talk to Dominic. And then he spoke to the doctors. All of a sudden, they moved me to a completely private room. Everything changed immediately based on one phone call from Giuliani. Go right ahead, Sandra.
Love-hate relations, and then he got to love you, and that's great. That woman, I heard her speak, and I thought she was disrespectful. And Donald Trump said to her, if you would say it nicely, it would be he had a guest from another country. You don't act like that when you have a guest from a foreign country. You act a little bit better, don't you think, Dominic?
Absolutely. There's a time and a place for everything when it comes to questioning a government official. I'll give you the final word, Sandra.
I just wanted to say, so you went to see, did you see all the stories or just one? And
just one. And I couldn't take the one. Because this woman, Sandra, when she walked up to me, I mean, vibrant, her skin is gorgeous. And I mean, and I'm like, this is the woman we're talking about, Anyway, go ahead, Sandra.
No, so I hope that you'll see all the stories, and I hope you'll encourage everyone to see all of them. And it's free; you don't have to pay for it. It's on Amazon Prime. I think everyone should see that movie.
Well, I agree with you, but I can't. I can't do it because the people of Israel were done wrong. It's horrible, and it should be world. People condemning those animals of Hamas. I got to take a break, Sandra. Thank you for the call. I can't watch all 7. I saw one. It was too much for me. Maybe I'm getting old, folks. Time for a break. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This holiday, discover meaningful gifts for everyone on your list at Kay. Not sure where to start? Our jewelry experts are here to help you find or create the perfect gift, in-store or online. Book your appointment today and unwrap love this season, only at Kay.
Wherever Bud goes, his harmonica goes with him. It's a pocket full of soul. Now he's living with prostate cancer. He asked his doctor about Xtandi and enzalutamide. Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. Talk to your doctor and visit Xtandi.com.
I use Shipt same-day delivery to stay connected with my sister during the holidays. She lives across the country. Shipt has tons of stores to order from. Groceries from Albertsons, crafts from Michael's, even pet supplies from PetSmart. The list goes on. So when we have long-distance movie nights, I turn to Shipt to get face masks, snacks, and everything else we need delivered to her and to me same day. Download the app or visit Shipt.com. That's SHIPT.com.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. I'm about to go to Marianne in Queens on line 3. I just want to say something else about Giuliani. He didn't have it easy in terms of media coverage. And it's very different today. So under Giuliani, he would get it. Because he'd walk into the room and the television reporters, we'd be lined up and we were in unison with each other. You couldn't divide and conquer. So what am I talking about? If Giuliani and I was going at it, right? Many government officials, they'll try and answer the question. They go, next question, next person. Back in my day at City Hall, you didn't do that. Oh, no. So if he tried to go next question to somebody else, all the other reporters would sit on their hands and not ask a question. And it would force him to answer my question. And he would be in some tough positions. But he was a man's man that would answer the questions. And he didn't have it easy because you would have a legendary reporter, Gabe Pressman, starting it off. Then me as the second batter, then Marsha Kramer behind me, and it went 1, 2, 3, 4 before we even got to any press reporters. And there were sometimes Giuliani would storm out the room and then come back. And whenever he stormed out, that means we won. Because if he stormed out, that's the headline. I'm going to be live in 2 minutes on TV. Mayor Giuliani just stormed out of his news conference, not able to answer the question as it relates to, I can tell you the script without even knowing the story. That's how it would go. Let's go to Marianne in Queens, but I have enormous respect for him. He's one of the greatest mayors ever of New York City, and I'll always have tremendous admiration and respect for New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who got us through 9/11 and was treated horribly for standing up for Trump. Marianne in Queens, what's on your mind?
By the way, Mayor Giuliani has my respect. In my opinion, he was the best mayor that we ever had. And he resolved many problems we have with crime and cartels and all things that were actually destroying our city. Now, going to what we are talking about, the media has become a political monster, okay? And they are the ones that right now decide who people are voting for. Why? Because they have their ears. They have our attention. And they tend to demonize those people that are opposing the party that they always back, which is the Democrat Party. Let me tell you what's happening in the Spanish community. All right? Univision, who is the major channel that we have, they own Radio Guado. They are associated with CNN. And CNN is totally a Democrat outlet. And they are the ones that demonize the Republican Party and Donald Trump and whatever is going in actually is going to win or lose. But they make them lose. Why? Because they have our attention. So we have to penalize those people. We have to boycott them. And we have to stop by anything that these people announce because they are the ones that pay for them. Those Unimax, Radio Guado, Univision, those are Mexican media. And the only thing that we listen is those radio stations and Spanish TV. There's something that is real big here. And we don't have put a stop in this. We're going to have a dictatorship of one party ruling nation that we will have to be used to. And let me tell you,
we're almost out of time, Mary. We're almost out of time. Quickly, go ahead.
Well, you know what? What is the proof? We have a socialist person. Now we have a communist socialist.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Marianne, I'm sorry. I have to step in. I hear you. But that the public has to accept some responsibility. You can't blame the media for all of that. You know, people just vote, oh, he's cute. I like him. And now he's the mayor. So it is what it is. Marianne, thank you for the call. Those of you that couldn't get on, I do apologize. I'm back at 3 p.m. today. We'll be working on these interviews with this October 7th victim. We'll be cleaning it up. Some very powerful things she has to say. I'll be back 3 p.m. Eastern. You folks have a great day.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?